to my understanding, the election of Syriza is a wake-up call to the European elite, to the European institutions that have sought to follow an economic orthodoxy that doesn't pay out, that doesn't satisfy the European citizens, and at the end of the day sets in peril the great achievement of European integration that the European Union has been successful at building up. Often the debate seems to be focused these days, particularly if you follow the popular media, between Germany and Greece. And I think to a certain extent it is correct that the two countries represent the two poles of the debate. Germany, on the one hand, which has stuck to its guns of so-called fiscal consolidation. To you and me, that means austerity. A fiscal consolidation that has punished the German people as much as it has punished others, with the need for, to mention one example, the need for investment in public infrastructure in Germany having become as urgent as in any other European country, but not being addressed by the coalition government. And Syriza, on the other hand, of course, who represents the rejection of austerity. What is very important about the outcome of this battle of ideas at the heart of Europe will be the position of other countries. And here I would like to highlight the position of France. We all talk about Syriza today because Syriza is the victorious party in the election. In 2012, in Europe, we rightly talked about François Hollande and the election of the Socialist Party in France, who was elected on the promise of change. Change from the policies followed by Nicolas Sarkozy, the failed economic policies of the previous administration. Over the last 3 years, the record of the French government seems to be less than satisfactory, and it is governments such as the one by François Hollande in France, or Matteo Renzi in Italy, indeed of the Austrian coalition government of the Social Democrats and the centre-right, who will have to, in a way, weigh into the debate. Greece will find itself in an almost impossible situation if it is to face alone the fiscal orthodoxy that the German finance ministry represents, but not necessarily Mrs. Merkel. I think Mrs. Merkel is a very pragmatic politician. She has dealt with problems as they have come, each time that they have come, and I do not believe that Mrs. Merkel wants the dissolution of the Eurozone or the so-called Grexit, the Greek exit from the Eurozone. But it is the finance ministry who is highly trained in the politics and the economics of ordoliberalism, which poses the greatest challenge to the new Greek government and its potential allies. So I think the outcome is to be determined. It is obviously an open negotiation, but personally, I would tend to count myself among the more optimists in the sense that eventually, surely, the European Union's own interest and the interest of the European peoples throughout the European Union, not only in Greece, not only in the south, is predicated upon a new economic settlement that will, on the one hand, make sure that established rules will have to be respected, at least for the medium term, but at the same time, punitive austerity that pushes people to the margins of society and to the extremist wings of politics will have to be removed. And closing this circle of my intervention, I want to highlight a very positive contribution that the election of the Syriza government in Greece has made, irrespective of the outcome. The Syriza government, in coalition with a right-wing populist party, may prove to be a parenthesis. In fact, as former Prime Minister Tsarouhas seems to be thinking, according to my colleague. But even if it proves to be a parenthesis, it has already made a massively important positive contribution to our debate about European politics and about the future of the European economy, because it has finally brought politics back into the picture. It has allowed for a debate that was simmering for years about what the future direction of Europe's economy is to finally emerge on the mainstream. And with a person like Mr. Tsipras as Prime Minister, and with a person like Mr. Varoufakis as Finance Minister, this debate will most certainly become more political. And I think it is the absence of politics over the last few years that has led to the growing disgruntlement throughout Europe with our European project. So if only for that reason, if only because we can have again a battle of economic ideas in Europe, within the European family, Syriza has contributed